Yeah, that's true. That part did throw me off. The romance between the let's make a a moderately attractive dwarf, and he hooks up with the elf. It should have been like the dwarfiest looking dwarf, you know. He didn't even look like a dwarf. He was just like a short elf. They totally did that on purpose. Like, she's not gonna really like a hairy, big-nosed guy. Okay, so mocking your favorite actor? What, the dwarf that was in the romance? No, what I'm saying is he actually looked like an elf. That's kind of a compliment, right? He should have been casted as an elf, but for some reason they made him as a dwarf. But yeah, I could have gone without the romance, but I always know they do stuff like that to try to engage more people into the story. But it is what it is. Getting more screen time than Thorin and Bilbo. He originally had more dwarf features, but they backed off. Really? They're like, remove the nose. Okay, let's trim up the eyebrows. Let's get rid of some of those braids and put some just some nice elven-looking hair on them. All right, perfect. That's the kind of dwarf an elf can fall in love with. We need 3 hot dwarves and the rest just exist. I enjoyed the beginning of The Hobbit. You know, the whole like them coming in and wrecking Bilbo's place and all that stuff. That was pretty fun. And the song, the Misty Mountains Cold song, it's pretty good. There's a lot that can be enjoyed. All right. I enjoyed when they were in the woods that were like making them super high and they were getting all lost in there. That was a good one. 80% agreement. Well, that's pretty good. 80% is pretty good. In this day and age, it's hard to get an 80% out of movies, for sure. Gollum? Wait. Was there a Gollum movie that I missed? Gollum the game. Oh, really? I haven't checked that out yet. Sometimes I think we have to enjoy stories more in games than in movies nowadays, because it's just so filled with agendas and stuff in Hollywood and whatnot, that the gaming scene tends to be more of the place to enjoy a good story. Nah, okay. No, not the game. Gollum in the movie was good since they probably started working on him. Oh, okay. Is there a game? Wait, so is the Gollum game good or not? Bad. It's terrible. I'm trying to think what the last Lord of the Rings game I played. I think it's Shadow of Mordor. which it's a fun like hack and slash. I'm just gonna go out there and kill like gobs of orcs. I enjoyed those ones. All right, let me get some coffee. I'll be right back. You have a Hobbit PowerPoint presentation, huh? I mean, it's their fault for taking on such an endeavor. They'd probably have a better chance making new stories out of the world of Lord of the Rings instead of tackling existing things. I was gonna go and play that. There's a dwarf, the Mines of Moria game. It's like returning to the Mines of Moria to rebuild it. But after watching some videos about it, I opted out. It almost had me. The bait. You know how sometimes you see like a trailer for a game and it'll create this awesome idea of what the game should be in your mind, but then you go to play it, it actually doesn't meet that at all. That's what happened with me with that one. I was like, oh cool, so you go in, you fight off waves of baddies and then design and rebuild Moria from the ground up. But apparently it's not like that at all, so bummer. Weta did the new Hobbiton game. Is it lame? Or Shire? I don't know. Never heard of it. I liked farming in Lord of the Ring Online. I'd take a Hobbit's Weed Farming Simulator 2025. There's so much potential. So much potential for that universe. Yeah, I know. That's why it'll never. The people that would need to make something of value from like Lord of the Rings don't have the coin to buy the rights to be able to do so. So I was just thinking about that as I was getting coffee. That what happened is we've entered an age of disposable stuff, disposable content. Movies, games, all that stuff's not meant to really last for more than a year, you know? So that disposable culture caught up with the internet. Back before, you know, like when they made the first Lord of the Rings, they'd make things to last, you know? Everyone was trying to make a timeless piece. Now everyone's just trying to make disposable content. Someone like Larian. That's true. I mean, well, I see what you did there. Basic Disney, like cell shaded. What are you doing there, Mama Funk? This is what we need to do. We need to wait for Clayton to make his millions, and then he will fund independent medieval fantasy content building, and then we'll get to work. That's the plan. Clayton promised us yesterday, so he just said he's too busy playing Starfield or something right now. But eventually he'll not be busy playing the game, and he can get back to work. Look, I could sculpt something from the show without tying my ideas of the show to the piece. I can separate the sculpture from the show in my mind, don't worry. Tainted. If every follow should just get, yeah, if everyone that follows Glad would just give her $10,000, then she can make the Lord of the Rings game we all deserve. It's that easy, guys. It's that easy. Hey, thanks, Lisa. Let me check my other pair of jeans. Wait, what happened there, Maggie? Oh, I know what you're talking about. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's not good. Right. Yeah. Hey, Benja. I appreciate that, my friend. That might be enough to just buy the rights there. Glad. That's about it. How much did Amazon pay for the rights? 100%. Alright, Gravity. Well, in case we don't see you, have a great weekend. Do you think makes fiction good? Relatability to the characters. When it teaches you lessons without being too blunt about it, you know, life lessons. This is polymer clay. It's called cast clay. Potatoes for breakfast. Potatoes. See. I agree. Timeless soundtrack indeed. for a little bit. Well, look, you decided to join us. We got big plans, Mr. Clayton. Get to work, man. The Sinapish community has decided to take you up on your offer for you to make millions and fund our medieval fantasy works. Why don't you just buy one instead of making it yourself? Wait a minute. But I'm selling it. And who am I gonna buy it from? I'm the seller, not the buyer. Weird. What? What's weird? Didn't you know the things that you buy are made by somebody? Alright, Glad. Lord of the Rings rants take a lot of energy out of you. I get it. Let's get some rest, recharge. Oh. So this material is, you can cure it. See, this is all cured up here. And then it just gets painted, just like any other sculpture. The benefit of this particular clay over other clays is it's actually flexible like rubber. So yeah. So after it's been cured, it's actually really, really durable. So all these little bits that look super fragile are actually can take a hit. So, and you can work with it in layers. So, you know, all these other layers like his arms and hands and head are all baked and locked in. The only part we're working on right now is this chest plate. And once I get this finished, I'll bake it and lock it in and then move on to the next section, you know. So it allows you to really hold on to the work with ease and move around the project comfortably. IRL quick save, yeah, exactly. Pretty much. When you bake it, It's like hitting the save as button. Yeah, we disabled the channel points for now. The economy collapsed, so rebuild from the ground up. Inflation crashed the CNET push to balloon economy. Can I feed Doggo anymore? Yeah. It'll come back, don't worry. It just needs to be reworked. They're meant to be one of a kind, and I would have to make them completely different to mold and cast them, you know. It's, you know, it's not as simple and straightforward, and it's a lot of work to mold and cast things. And you really have to design them in a way that makes it easy to do. Otherwise, it'll take tons of work. It's just a very different way of doing things. I've mathed it out though. Like, let's say I mathed out on a smaller piece the cost of molding and casting, time-wise and everything, and ultimately the amount you end up with at the end of it all is pretty close to the same. It's a little bit more than just doing a one-off original piece. So it's a whole lot of extra work because when you make something molded and casted, it's, you know, it decreases the value. Can't sell a molded casted piece at the same amount as you sell an original. And it's a different model because you're putting a lot of equity up front and expecting it to come back eventually, right? So let's say I made this piece, right? I put all the work into sculpting it and making parts detachable for molding. So we put in all that work. Then we have to spend a bunch of money on molding and casting materials and put in all those hours to do that. And then paint them all and do all that work in the hopes that they all sell. You know what I mean? So now you have this inventory of, let's say, 20 of these guys. So much painting. All right. So you have 20 of these guys, and you pretty much need to sell all of them in order to even make anything back on top of, you know, so. Not counting how much exactly. And then the way I would have to work, the way I'd have to sculpt is restricted because I'd be constantly thinking about not creating undercuts, not creating little hard to reach areas that, or like creating textures that you can't even mold or cast, you know. So by doing just an original, I'm able to kind of just freely work and just do whatever I want and not have to worry about any of that stuff. And it's a commissioned piece, so instead of me putting the money up front and hoping it comes back, I'm not putting anything up front. You know, it's the piece is paid for, you know, so there's no risk for me to sink my ship, if you will, financially. Because things get tight around here, and one wrong misstep with a project could be very detrimental. So, because here's the thing too, so these big box companies like Sideshow Collectibles have established what people expect the price of a molded casted sculpture to be, right? But they're doing something, you know, I'm just an individual. They're a big company that uses like China to produce their reproductions and all that stuff, and therefore they're able to lower the cost of it significantly. So if yours is more, they'll go elsewhere. Not necessarily. There'll still be those people that would buy from like me to support small guys and stuff like that, but yeah, the general kind of like people have an expectation of what the price of things are, and that's set by all these companies that are, you know, essentially using slave labor to get the work done and to make the cost lower. So, all right, Gravity, we'll catch you later, man. Deep down, we're all bargain hunters. All right, yeah, exactly. And that's not terrible. It's not a terrible thing, you know. Everyone likes getting a good deal. So what I offer is not just the sculpture, right, but the service of being able to commission exactly what you want, you know. And that's the main. I think that the value of getting a one-of-a-kind piece isn't just knowing that this is a one-of-a-kind sculpture, but also getting to choose what that piece is, you know. And that's not a service you can find from any big box companies. So I fill a gap that I found. A lot of independent artists do it that way, you know. And I tell you what, it's much easier to get a commission for whatever the client wants made than it is to make something first and then trying to sell it. Like searching for the right person to buy that piece. You take the value of picking out of the equation, you know. So usually when I make something first and then try and sell it, it has to cost less than it could have if it was a commission piece. Yeah, trust me, I've scratched my head quite a bit on how to kind of like produce more, you know, and you know, I just gotten to the point where I've decided this is my thing. I'm gonna focus all my energy on making one-of-a-kind works for people or companies, and that's just gonna, and I'm gonna show the process of that live on stream, and that's gonna be my thing. And so it shall be. You have several items sitting waiting on a customer. Yeah, right. It is nice to have inventory for certain things, you know, like for example, I can't really go do like conventions or anything. I can just to show my work and stuff, but I wouldn't have anything to sell. That's another putting equity up front model, doing conventions. You put all that work and energy into making stuff for show, and then in the hopes that it sells, you know. Pay for the booth space, you get all your work sent out there or transported. Have to pay for a hotel room for the night, probably, you know. It's just a lot of upfront. Could always live chat. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know if I would. Maybe I would. I've seen like a Cave Geek does that when he does his cons. My main thing for if I would go do a convention, it would be just to show my work in person, because the work always looks better through seeing it in person than through the eyes of a camera, you know. And just really just to see people face to face and chit chat and connect with everybody. I wouldn't be going to try to sell nothing, I don't think. A little bit of a dent here. Me too, yeah, I'm really glad I found this little pocket, this little niche that I do. Cause also I wouldn't like the idea of painting the same thing 20 times. I like that when I sit down to work on something, it'll be the first and the last time. Right. Yeah. That's kind of animation in a nutshell. You get very good at doing the same thing over and over again. A labor of love. close, get closer.